you have to have God at the head of your relationship, right? Finding God, letting Him be the lead, especially as a husband.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place, 'cause I love you.
What's up, you guys?
What's up? What's up?
I'm your girl, Tam.
My name is John. John.com. Don't forget the bomb, because I'll explode.
Anyway, and we are the Blackwell. All right, so today's video, we're going to be coming to you guys with 3 tips. So it's my 3 keys or 3 tips and his 3 keys and 3 tips on
relationships
to keep a successful, or what is needed to have a successful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you didn't know, he and I have been married for almost 20 years. We are like weeks away from our 20th anniversary. Married at I was 18, he was 19. And so we've learned a lot along the way.
And are still learning.
And are still learning. Let's go ahead and get into these keys, these tips, or whatever we're going to call them. Number 1, what do you think the number 1 key to?
Well, first, I'm going to do this because we're probably going to both have the same. This one is first. So the first thing that I'm going to say is that we're going to say that you have to have God at the head of your relationship, right? Finding God, letting Him be the lead, especially as a husband. From what I've learned from being a husband is that, if I let God lead me and direct me, it's easier for me because I've had to say those prayers, and not just God change my wife, but God teach me how to love my wife. Show me how to love her. Show me how to entreat her the way that she needs, not just from what I think or what I feel like, but what she actually needs. So I've asked God to, I pray and ask God to help me. So in those moments to where maybe I need to be a little more attentive or affectionate or whatever, that God would help me and show me even how to be that to her, for her. So ultimately though, I would say that we probably both would say that God needs to be, or should be, at the head of your marriage or the relationship, at least for us. So that's what's worked for us. That's what I believe has saved a lot of aspects of our marriage is God being at the forefront and the head of our relationship. So I'm going to just put that out there. So technically, we're not going to use that as the first key. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bruh. So now you go.
No, okay. So yeah, but honestly, God, having a relationship with Christ and your own personal space, your own personal life, and then coming together as a couple and having a relationship with Christ is going to benefit you like you never would believe in your marriage. If you're trying to make it 5, 10, see, I could slap them, but I'm not because I'm on camera. But anyway, if you're trying to make and have longevity. Is that how you say it?
Longevity. We're just trying to be one. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Anyway, so he said, God, y'all need to get some Jesus, because if you trying to be married and you got a husband like this, you're gonna need Jesus. Okay. All right. So
first thing be the
and it's not be God.
Yeah.
Communication.
Okay. What about communication?
Gotta know how to talk. I'm sorry. To learn how to communicate, and it's not just speaking and getting your point across. It's also listening. Mm-hmm. Listening. It's just like having a relationship with Christ, with God. When you go and you pray, then you need to listen to what He's got to say too. Mm-hmm. It's a 2-way street. So communication is going to be like number 1 for me.
That was also my number 1, was going to be communication. I was going back and forth, but communication, because a lot of times people won't say how they really feel. And sometimes it is necessary to say how you feel so somebody actually knows, instead of you just walking around the house with an attitude and, it's like, what's the matter with you? Nothing. And, you can clearly tell that there's something wrong with you, and you can't, it's okay to simply say like, I'm just a little irritated, or I'm just not in the greatest of moods right now. Just need a minute. And sometimes we don't communicate that, or our communication comes off just, it's bad. So, because there is a difference between good and bad communication. So I'm gonna one-up hers now that I think about it and say good communication and not just communication.
Okay, first of all, he is a therapist, a licensed therapist, so he's gonna Anyway,
that was not very
communication. We're gonna just say communicate.
Number 2, ma'am.
No, you go. Yeah, you go.
Okay, so my second one is along the lines of communication, kind of like you were saying earlier about just kind of even listening. Mine would be comprehension. Because if I talk to you, well, because they kind of go hand in hand, communication and comprehension.
So, but your second would be key to tell somebody, I'm going to get married, bro. Give me some tips. Y'all been married for this long. Help me out. And you're going to tell him, you need the Lord, you need to know how to communicate, and you got to comprehend.
Yes, comprehend. Because you know what? This is the thing. If you tell me that, let me see. You tell me you're not in a good mood or something. You just tell me something. Maybe it's not being in a good mood, but you tell me something. But I don't really understand what you're saying or the way that you're saying it or the context in which you're saying it. And so I take it a different way. It can go bad. The point is that sometimes we try to communicate certain points, but the other person isn't always comprehended. So kind of like you were saying about listening, sometimes you have to slow down and actually just try to make sure that you're understanding what the other person is saying.
Actively listening. Yeah,
and so not just, going back and forth, which is what happens a lot of times in relationships. You just shooting stuff back and forth. What's your number 2?
My number 2 would be honesty. So... And what okay, anyway, and the reason why I say that is because we have to be honest and stop it in all of the areas. We gotta be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with our partner. Would you stop? Because you're irritating me. That's
communication.
And you comprehended that, right? Okay, because I was being honest. Y'all see how that worked?
That wasn't even planned.
Okay, so honesty. And that's the thing, you have to be honest with yourself. And if I'm honest with myself, then I can be honest with you. And a lot of times it's like, people feel like they can't be honest, they don't want to hurt people's feelings. A lot of times it's not what you said, it's just the way you say it. And
I said what I said!
And so, me being honest and saying, no, I don't feel like doing A, B, and C. Or you did hurt my feelings when you blah, 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 blah. Being honest about what your expectations of each other are. As a husband, what do I expect from him? What do I honestly expect from him? And vice versa. What does he honestly expect from me as his wife? And so just having honesty on the table, I think that's my number 2 key. So
that was a really good one. I didn't put that in mind, but I think that was a really good one.
I know it.
That some people are scared to be honest. Have you ever been scared to be honest about stuff? Maybe even in your relationship, I don't want to offend him or I don't want to offend her. So sometimes you kind of hold back or just try to downplay certain things.
And honesty is not just being blunt and sharp and like, I'm going to say it like it is. I'm honest. I keep it 100. You can keep it 100, most definitely, but you also have to mind your manners when it comes to, especially your spouse. That's supposed to be the last person you want to hurt, and especially in the Bible, and it tells us the different aspects of love, and I'll probably pop them up on the screen somewhere, but I'm not supposed to want to hurt him, and just because I'm keeping it 100 with him doesn't mean that I should want to lash out and call him every name in the book or make him feel some type of way. Even if I say things honestly, sometimes it may cut, but my intention should not be to do that. My intention should not be to be like, I'm about to do-do-do-do, because it's not just some random person off the street, me just talking to me in the kind of way. So honestly does not have to be just being sharp with your tongue. It's just you being honest and then learning how to communicate in a healthy way, in a healthy manner. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but so let's get on to number 3.
Number 3 for me would be being intentional.
Okay. Is that it?
That's my 3rd one, being intentional.
He's not going to expound on that?
Did I need to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what I mean by that is that a lot of times, sometimes in relationships, it kind of goes along with the honesty and the communication thing as well. Sometimes we get to the point to where we're just going through a routine. And some of the things that we're doing isn't as intentional as maybe they should be. The kiss on the cheek or the kiss on the forehead isn't really intentional as much as it is routine. Yeah. So and what I mean by that, if I go and intentionally kiss her with sincerity or genuineness that it can be different than me just going up and just, bye, I'll talk to you later, or love you, something like that. But being really intentional and being aware of what you're saying and what you're doing and why you're doing it, not to just go through the motions. You don't want to have just habitual practices necessarily in your relationship to the point that they almost become meaningless or just lose that that effectiveness, I guess. So when you're intentional and really focused in on your relationship or on your spouse, partner, or whatever, because this can go for any relationship, not just, husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. It can be a parental and child relationship, brothers and sisters, co-workers, or whatever. All of these are very important aspects to any relationship, to be honest. So I would say my third one would be being intentional in what you're doing in the relationship so that you're more aware of how you're coming off.
That was good. All in my head, I was just thinking that he's intentional, never failing. That's what I was thinking about. I don't know if I was actively listening. No, I was. I heard you talking about.
So she said, I'm intentional, if y'all didn't hear that, and I'm never failing.
I'm talking about the Lord.
Oh. He is.
I want to say my third one would be, I was thinking about trust. Then I was thinking about cohesiveness as far as like coming together and being on one accord. But then also like making time, as a couple to be a couple, even though we're business owners, bosses, parents, and all that stuff. So honestly, I don't even have a number 3 like that because there's so many things that could fit in that slot. And there's so many important elements to keeping your relationship and nurturing the relationship and keeping it alive. It's very much like a plant, because a plant has its roots. It has different things, but it needs some basic things to make it thrive. But then there are other things that we can do to help that plant along the way. Like I put that miracle grow stick in a plant that we have. But I mean, honestly, it needs decent light and water, and I believe that would be the God in us in our life, is that light and that water.
Where it's grounded.
Yeah, but then there are other things that we can do, to make sure, keeping it away from things that can hit it and knock it off the thing, and break branches and change the pot out when it needs to be changed so that the roots can expand.
So that's really good. So protecting your relationship, having boundaries for your relationship, that's really good and really important. I guess kind of what I feel like I hear you saying too overall is kind of like work effort.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just think that the relationship will just, kind of do its own thing. Like you say, matter of fact, I just bought a plant just the other day, like a few weeks ago. I put it outside on the front step and I forgot kind of that it was out there. And so it's like just shriveling up and dying. And, but I haven't put didn't put any water in it or anything like that. And the temperatures are fluctuating here. So it's just shriveling up because I didn't put any care into it. Now, it survived for a little while on its own. And just like a relationship it can kind of survive, but that's kind of the doing what it has in the reserve. But that's why you have to keep putting that work into it. You got to keep making sure the soil is good, making sure that it's got plenty of water and not to overwater it, making sure that it's in the sun, but not getting too much sun.
There's so much that we could say, and maybe we'll expand on this this topic or do other videos on this, and y'all let us know in the comments if that's something that you would like to hear and see. But these were just our beliefs, and coming from a couple who we've been married for almost 20 years and we've gone through it. So, but by the grace of God, we are still together. And so whatever we can do to just pour out into somebody else, not perfect at all. We're not on here saying that we're not Claire and Cliff Huxtable. Everything's not going to work out in 30 minutes, or 20 minutes with commercials. Not having it. Okay. So just wanted to share some real game with y'all, some little gems, and hope that is helpful. Let us know in the comments what key you thought that you can relate to or whatever, or if like we said, there's more. So let us know if there's something that we missed or we need to touch base on, or you want us we'll edit that out.
Blah, 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 blah.
But what want us to touch base on. But yeah, that's it for today's video. So what do they need to do?
So you need to bang that bell. You can ring my bell. You can ring my... Hit that bell on your phone somewhere in a vicinity. I don't know where it's at. Hit that bell. Subscribe to our channel.
What's the bell for?
To get notifications. It's a notification bell. So that, like, you know, when it's supper time and they ring the bell, bling, 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 it's supper time. So hit that bell. So whenever we got a video, whenever we have a video, it'll notify you. So hit the bell on your screen, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel, tell your friends about us.
Share the video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I did that right, but that's okay.
Like, share, comment.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next video.
And y'all pray for her. She's crazy.
Love is no one in a million. It goes on and on and on.